thought we were fighting by ourselves. You're still here.
Yeah, this was not earned. I'm sorry. Hello, my geeks, freaks, and my peeps. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chaos, and today, guys, yes, we are indeed talking about Hazbin Hotel again. I really like this show, and you guys seem to love it whenever I talk about it. So how about we do a bit more of that today, guys? And just to preface this, yes, I actually do like the show. There's so much to like about the show. Like the music, the animation, the voice acting, for one, is all spot on. But there were some glaring issues about Hazbin Hotel. The biggest being, it's so freaking rushed. The reason why it's so rushed, besides the 8 episode count and the 22-minute runtime, is that Vivzy Pop does not know how to cut anything out. And for those of you that are like, well, how is anyone supposed to work within that time limit? She was given the episode count before she started working on this, as far as I understand. And so she had to look at this and know that she's not going to be able to tell everything that she wants to tell within that time frame, and cut some stuff that's really, really unnecessary. I like a lot of songs in the show, but there were some that just don't really need to be there. More than anything, is really unearned. It starts with Sorry. There's a ton of songs that are good, but they needed to be cut. And so that's one problem. Another big problem is tonal dissonance. And what I mean by that when I say it is that she's good at making individual moments, but the build-up to that is either contradicted by the moment itself or doesn't fit the character. So, an example from her other show, her sister show, Hello Boss, is in the latest episode of Ghost Effers. Millie says,
"But I should have respected you like you always do for me."
But if you look at Blitz's actions throughout the show, he has not respected her. He has continuously stalked. He's continuously harassed. He's made it very clear that he wants to sleep with both of them. And it's that's not respect. That's the furthest thing away from respect. And yet we're supposed to take this moment as a sweet, yeah, you should have. And also within the context of the episode itself, it doesn't make any sense, because Blitz is spiraling. And Millie calls him out on it and saying, this isn't just affecting you. You're literally bringing down the entire business. You're bringing down everyone's livelihoods down with you. And so, yeah. Enough ranting about Hello Boss. Like I said, I do like the show, but I have my own problems with it. I hate Stolitz, for example. It should never, it's gonna be canon, and I hate it. Anyways, back to Hazbin Hotel. There's 3 examples I'm gonna kind of explain my thoughts on. The first one that I'm gonna talk about is the song Out for Love. If you look at the lyrics, if you didn't know who Vaggie is and what her, entire character is based around, and I mean that in the most literal sense possible, it's basically saying you only fight for yourself, you only fight because you're bloodthirsty, you're vengeful, but you need to stop doing that and actually look to the people that love you and fight for them. And that's been Vaggie's literal entire character. Everything she does is for Charlie. She's only there at Camilla's to get weapons because Charlie told her to. She believes in Charlie's idea, She demands Alistair refilm the commercial because of Charlie. She always gives pep talks to Charlie to build her up. But we never get a Vaggie moment that's not centered around Charlie. Because everything that she does is centered around Charlie. Which you might say is well, yeah, that's because they're gay. No. It would be a problem even if they were a straight couple, because no one's personality should be centered around one thing or one person. Anyways, that's a big reason. I like the song. The song is really nice, and the scene that goes with it is really pretty. But once again, it doesn't fit Vaggie and her literal character and whatever it takes to that is sung in episode 2. At this point, we've had literally next to no screen time with Vaggie to know what her deal is. In episode 1 of the show, we kind of get everyone's shtick. Alistair is creepy and mysterious. Husk is going to be, the grouchy bartender. Angel Dust is a cornstar and makes it everyone's problem. Nifty is a chaos gremlin. Know anything about Vaggie because she's not really in the episode very long. The only moments we get is she doesn't think Charlie should be singing and that she'll be found as annoying. She demands Alistair, reshoot the commercial, and that's about it. And then in episode 2, she literally chucks everyone into a war zone. I'm gonna get back to that war zone. Says, yeah, you're right, I've been messing up the entire day. And that was literally the only exercise she actually led. Charlie led the trust falls, and Angel Dust was the one that brought them to a BDSM club. And the literal only exercise she has them do is her chucking almost everyone, minus Nifty.
You how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Into her war zone, and yet she acts as if everything in the day was her fault when this was literally the only thing she had done. So enough about Vaggie until maybe later. But another problem I have is Charlie's quote-unquote daddy issues. And what I mean by that is, what daddy issues? We hear a little bit about them, We get, the infamous moment in the commercial. Alistair points out that, supposedly points out how she's, distracting herself from working through her quote-unquote daddy issues. Haskell calls it out. But that's really it. We don't know their relationship beyond that. We get a bit more in the original YouTube pilot, where Charlie thinks that he doesn't care about her idea, kind of just dismisses her. In episode 5, Dat Be Dad, he immediately says, yeah, I want to see you. Yeah, why not? He's not aloof, he's not distant, he wants to be very active in his daughter's life. And he does criticize the hotel, but that literally gets immediately resolved with more than anything, a moment later. And it's just huh? And then the clip that I showed you at the very beginning with everyone, having the High School Musical moment of we're all in this together, that wasn't earned in the slightest. It really wasn't, because, we hear about what happens in episode 2 with them in the war zone, but we don't see it. We get, no interactions between any of the cast as a whole talking to each other. Everyone's kind of, everyone, but we get Nifty and Alistair always interacting with maybe a line or two given to the others. We get Charlie and Vaggie, and then we get Husk and Angel Dust, and that's really it. We don't really get anything other than that. It really makes me angry that episode 2 is all about tell don't show when the opposite's supposed to be true, because we see them getting chucked, but we don't see what actually happens. We don't actually see them grow close together. The only thing that we hear about is oh my gosh, you were such a coward before, but now you were so brave. That was so crazy, and that's it. And then for the rest of the show, we don't get any other interactions between the cast themselves until this moment. I guess the only other time that we get a moment with the cast interacting would be in the club scene. Again, I'm probably going to talk about it later on. They don't interact, and so the moment at the very end of Hello Rosie where they're, actually fortifying the hotel, and they're now we're willing to die for this because we believe in it, doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't earned, if that makes sense. And, I wish that we either got the whole scene, we actually got to see them interact with episode 2, and we get even, smaller moments of them, actually bonding. And another thing that, is very, rushed is Angel's character arc. I love Angel. He's one of my favorite characters. But, we go from him, harassing Husk from episodes 1 to 4 to episode 4, where we learn about his issues with Valentino, that we've had one brief scene in the episode 2. We get Valentino acting crazy over Angel, so we know that they do have history. And I'm talking about if you just looked at the episodes and not in the fandoms, because I know if you only purely look the shows and nothing outside of the shows, that's really the only two interactions that we have. And no, I'm not talking about the shows plus the attic music video. I mean, if you look at the pilot plus the Amazon show. We get episode 4 that details what hell is for Angel, and that's him being absolutely abused and exploited by Val. And then we get in the later half of episode 4 of Husk talking to Angel. We don't hear anything other about what's going on with like Valentina. We get one throwaway line about Angel's drug status and Dad Be Dead, and then it goes to Welcome to Heaven, I believe is the episode's name. And then like in that we get, you know, the infamous Pencha scene, which was very much wound in all the wrong ways, along with a certain infamous moment in Hello Boss. If you know, you know, very much along the lines of what happened to Penchas, if you know what I mean with Moxie. But like, Angel like stands up to Valentino, not caring about the risks, not even like shaking. It's just like, oh, I guess I'll deal with this on shift later. And then we literally hear nothing about what goes on after that. We hear literally nothing for the rest of the show, and like, it speeds run fast. It's like there was definitely an arc, but it should have been stretched out through the rest of the show and made more clearly. Another thing, Penchas' death and him being redeemed. Like, I love Penchas. He's my favorite boy. But once again, like, he would have been one of the very first things I cut, cause like, we don't get an arc with Penchas. We get him being a Doofenshmirtz type villain where he tries to be evil but fails, to him suddenly being redeemed. And there's like barely a middle. Like, there might be a few lines at best that like show him actually wanting to change. Because we get, it starts with sorry, and then like nothing afterwards. It's not that he goes back to his ways. We just don't get Penchas at all during the show. So it's like wild. That's all that I have for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it, and whenever you lie on this beautiful spectrum that we call life, I hope that you're happy and that you are healthy. Stay safe, and remember, I love you. Bye.